Again, I am excited to introduce again our next panelist moderator. Pam Hannon is the retirement and healthcare leader for GE Healthcare. And as you learned this morning, she is MBGH's new chair. We are very excited. She has over 30 years of human resource experience, primarily in benefits design and administration, HRIS and payroll. And as the retirement and healthcare leader at GE's Healthcare, she is responsible for global wellness, occupational health, and U.S. affiliate retirement plans. Pam is passionate about the work it does to support employers in improving the cost and quality of health benefits. She is a long-standing and active member of MBGH, a colleague and friend. Welcome, Pam.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. And thank you to that great panel. I was just telling Judy that I was so entranced with the panel, I almost forgot to come over to the speaker side. So a fabulous panel, and certainly this morning, everyone gave a lot of great information, and I have a lot of notes. But I'm excited to introduce this next panel. I would like to introduce Denise King, who is the Vice President and Global Benefits of Payroll at Medtronic. Denise joined Medtronic in 2004 and has served in various roles and is currently the Vice President Global Benefits and Payroll. Denise's responsibilities include strategic planning, design, and management of global employee benefit programs, well-being, and payroll. Prior to joining Medtronic, she held various positions in human resources at NRG Energy and Marquette Financial Companies. And so, Denise, I'd go ahead and let you begin the session.
All right, thank you. So first, it's a pleasure to be here today and share more about the journey that we have been on at Medtronic. And I'm first going to just start out by sharing a little bit about Medtronic. We are a company that is really believes in the power of medical technology to improve lives. 7 decades ago, our co-founder, Earl Bakken, invented the battery-powered pacemaker. And today we are among the largest medical device companies in the world. With operations in 150 countries, our products treat 70 health conditions, which include cardiac devices, cranial and support robotics, insulin pumps, surgical tools, patient monitoring systems, and more. Our therapies help 72 million people a year, and it really is in line with our mission to alleviate pain, restore health, and extend life. Next slide. It's our people who make this all possible. We value diverse perspectives and encourage our 90,000 employees to be themselves. We hold each other accountable, we act with integrity, and we make quality our top priority. We are privileged to be part of the communities where we live and work. We are committed to giving back and reducing our impact on the environment. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the work that Medtronic is doing in partnership right now with many other organizations. And the work that we're doing is to provide 1,000 ventilators to healthcare facilities across India. Medtronic is providing end-to-end support for the initiative, which would include manufacturing, transportation, mobilizing teams to install the ventilators, technical support, and then of course, clinical training for the clinicians and staff. And I have to say, having been deeply involved in working through some of the situation in India, I'm just so grateful to work for a company and to see so many organizations coming together in response to the heart-wrenching tragedy in India, and hoping that we can make a difference there quickly. Next slide. So at Medtronic, the employee experience is paramount, and we really do spend a lot of time focusing on that. And we also like to not just think of those single events, but really thinking through for an employee as they think about their career and all of the different life stages that they will experience. How do we support them with those different life stages, as well as every unique individual? We are committed to providing benefits that help employees feel healthy, secure, balanced. We focus on inclusion and diversity and equity, and we recognize and support all families having the ability to build their family. And for us, we think of family, it comes in all shapes and forms. And so it's very, very important to us that the partners that we work with can support our vision and really, really help our employees be able to do what they are looking to do, that they can build their family when the time is right for them, if that's what they so choose to do, but that they have the resources readily available to support them. Next slide. Our work to determine how we would best support our employees is really done through a variety of different channels. So first, we always look at our plan design very carefully. We gather voice of customer data to shape the future direction and efforts. We leverage our internal ERGs significantly. We use leadership support, and then, of course, reviewing the market to identify partners such as Kindbody, who really align with our mission, but then also are really focused on that member experience, which is consistent with what our expectations are. On the next slide, our path forward really includes a $25,000 lifetime medical and pharmacy benefit to the new, sorry, can you change the slide, please? Thank you. Our path forward includes a move from a $25,000 lifetime medical and pharmacy benefit to a new benefit offering, which is going to be based on cycles. For us, we really firmly believe that, yes, we can provide a limited lifetime, but really at the end of the day, it's the cycles that are going to make a difference for people who are looking to build their family. So we'll be offering coverage for 3 cycles, it's going to be inclusive of the pharmacy benefit. And what we're also going to do with everyone as we make this transition, we will allow everyone to start over. So no one will have to be told they're at their limit today because they've already maxed out the 25,000. Essentially, everyone starts over. I told this to one employee and she started crying and shared how grateful and thankful she is to work at Medtronic. And those are the moments for me that make our work so very important when we know we're really making a difference for each individual. This is really truly going to be life-changing for many of our employees, and I am really excited about Kindbody as they continue to expand their footprint with their clinics. Kindbody is building a clinic in Minneapolis, which will provide an awesome experience for our employees who are located in Minneapolis, but it's also going to accommodate other employers in the area, which for me is really exciting. And I really like the fact that as we've been working with them, looking at our footprint and seeing how it aligns with Kindbody's footprint to make sure that wherever our employees are located, that they have access to either a Kindbody clinic or a partner clinic. And then lastly, it's just simply exciting to be able to offer these benefits to our employees and to continue on our journey of providing benefits that support employees through every life stage and every unique individual, because as we know, everyone is unique and has their own different needs when it comes to benefits. That's what I had to share today.
Great, thank you very much, Denise. I certainly hope we have time for some questions because this looks like a very innovative program. Our next speaker is Jen Kuhl. Jen serves as the Director of Compensation and Benefits for Merit's in St. Louis, Missouri. In her role, she provides strategic oversight and direction for Merit's corporate-wide benefits and compensation departments. Jen's background includes various roles in HR, compensation, and benefits, totaling over 20 years of experience in the field. She holds a bachelor's degree in human resource management, an MBA from the University of Missouri St. Louis, and is a certified compensation specialist through World at Work. So Jen, thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you, Pam, so much. Had to get my video going there, so thank you. So this morning, I would like to talk to you a little bit about Merit's journey with navigating employees to high-value care and how we've educated employees, incented them, and really this has driven Merit's to have better outcomes and lower our medical costs. Merit's is a 125-year-old company. We are focused on helping other companies really enable and motivate their employees. And at the center of all that is people, right? So we're a very people-focused organization. And obviously benefits play a big role in that and making sure employees are getting the value that they deserve out of their benefits and at the right cost and at a high quality. Next slide, please. So if we kind of start back at the beginning of our journey, so Merit's had two challenges really we were trying to address at that time. And so it really was, a rising healthcare cost and just the difference in the cost and quality we were seeing. So in our medical plan spend, we were seeing, year-over-year increases, which isn't unusual, right? Healthcare goes up every year, but just the sheer variance between procedures that were being done. Many employees don't realize that wide range of costs for something like an MRI or a knee replacement. They also don't realize that they have options, and that just because their doctor recommends maybe they go to one facility, that they don't have to visit that facility. They can go somewhere else, right? And so, the other thing we found is that employees maybe didn't realize that just because a hospital is really well known for maybe heart surgery, that doesn't mean that they're the best equipped to handle a knee replacement. And so really just that challenge of knowing where to go for what the costs are, and is it good quality care? I think in recent years, many employers and benefit plans have done a really good job at steering employees away from things that are obviously high cost, such as emergency rooms and emergency departments. I think in my own neighborhood, I can speak to the number of urgent care clinics that have popped up, right? And so in that area, I think there's been a real steerage to better low cost care. But there's a lot of opportunities still that we were seeing. Next slide, please. So the solutions. So at Merits, we partnered with Healthcare Blue Book and really came up with a solution to provide an educational tool with real data where employees could be equipped to make really good choices about quality care at the right price point and leading them to better outcomes overall. Next slide. So, when you talk about shopping for consumer goods or, anything in your day-to-day life, most of us are very familiar with that, right? And it's very easy to navigate and we know what to do. And so I'll share just a quick personal story. I decided around Christmas time that I was ready to jump on the bandwagon and I wanted an air fryer, right? So all my friends have an air fryer. Everyone's talking about an air fryer. And so I decide I want one. So what's the first thing I do? I talk to people. I go out, I Google air fryers, I look at the different models, I compare the costs, I go to Walmart, I go to Target, I go to Amazon, I look at the reviews. All that data is really right there at my fingertips, right? And I can pretty quickly go, I want this model, this is the right price to pay. It's gonna cook my food the way I want and the outcome's gonna be good, right? That comes naturally to most of us, but it's really funny when you then ask someone, well, how do you go about deciding where you're going to have a procedure done? It doesn't seem to come that natural. I go where my doctor tells me to. And so, we really, we needed to change that behavior. And so we've done a lot of work to put this tool into place that really is, a collection of data with information, and it helps employees navigate that really complex healthcare system to know where they can go, what the outcomes might be, and what the cost would be. And so that was really the first step of this solution, is how to navigate that system. And then, that's not quite enough, right? Because we all know you can give employees a lot of education and a lot of tools, but one of the challenges is getting them to use it. And so what we found is that we had to sweeten the deal a little bit, right? In itself, maybe saving money for those procedures should possibly be enough of an incentive, but it might not be, right? So we want to really build some excitement around that and get employees out there and be engaged in that process. And so we decided to incent employees who use that navigational tool to find that, best facility, best cost, best quality outcome, and incentivize them for that. And so, we found that through this solution, it was really quite eye-opening to people, and they did become more engaged, and were able to really compare one doctor to another, and maybe this facility is good at one thing but not so great at another. And we found that just putting that in front of them regularly, consistently, we even did some things to add some games to that. If you go out on the tool and you search for a procedure and compare some costs, we kind of made that into a game with prizes. And so, that was really how we approached the solution to this problem. You can go to the next slide, please. And so, I want to talk about our outcomes a little bit, right? Because on the surface, it sounds great, but again, how do you get people to use it, and do you really see that ROI? And the short answer is yes, we did. So our utilization for people really engaging and looking for those lower cost, high quality procedures and shopping for them, our utilization was 21% in our most recent reporting period. And then in terms of a return on investment, we saw 2.6 to 1. So that was fantastic. And the annual savings came out to be right at about $142,000. So really, really good results there that we were very happy with. Next slide. So while we do consider how we approach this problem and our solution to this very successful, we still have work to do. And this is unfortunately one of those areas where it's not a one and done, right? So it really takes continuous education, continuous reminders, and really just putting it in front of people. We find that people might hear the message, but then when, they need to act on it and it's their turn to shop for a procedure, right, they might not remember. And so there's still a lot of dollars left on the table within our plan that we could claim and share those savings with employees. And so, there's definitely more we can continue to do, and, continue to get employees on board with this, usage of the solutions. So ongoing, we do education. We can clearly see when we do campaigns around this that our utilization numbers will go up significantly that week. We try to do something at least twice a year in terms of like a game or some kind of fun excitement around it to kind of increase awareness. But then we're also doing, emails every so often to employees, and really trying to just keep it front and center so that when they have the need, they remember. So it's really important, when we rolled this out, to it's like I said, it's not a one and done, you've rolled it out and now you're done. You really have to make it become more integrated in employees' everyday thinking around how to shop for healthcare. So, some takeaways really, I think the engagement rewards were really key. Employees like that we're sharing in the savings with them. They think that's cool, and that, it's a mutually beneficial type of arrangement, that they're shopping for the best care and that they get some of that money back as well. And then just really having that, a real strategic communication plan in place to keep this in front of employees, and continually teach them that there are options out there, there are choices, and it's certainly never always about the lowest cost. We've been very clear about that. It's really about the right cost with high quality, to really drive better outcomes for the employee. And that is what I was here to share with all of you today. So I will turn it back over to Pam.
Great, thank you very much, Jen and Denise, an excellent presentation. I don't know if there are any specific questions from the audience. I don't see any, but I have
on that.
Okay, thank you.
On that real quick.
But I have a question. I think that this is something that I've experienced over my long career, is both of these programs are really leading edge, and you're really asking the company to move forward in a place that some other companies are lagging. what do you think is key to having your leadership and your finance team on board with something like this? So I don't know if Denise, if you'd like to go first.
Sure. So I would say for us, we really have spent a lot of time with our finance partners. So something like the change we're making now, it's a matter of inform versus ask permission. And, you know, we are a company built on innovation. So quite honestly, probably a third of my job is innovation, and it's an expectation, which is fine because I actually really enjoy that part of my job. So for us, it's quite easy to do these things. So I think we're a little bit lucky is what I'd say on that one. I know it's harder for other companies to overcome those hurdles. The other thing too is just our ERGs are invaluable. Having the employee resource groups supporting the things that we're doing, vetting ideas with them. Again, it makes it simple to be able to implement because we know in advance that many of the things we're offering are, you know, things that they're looking for. So that's what I would say on that one. I think we have a little bit of an advantage on this one.
Great. And then Jen, I don't know if you have any additional thoughts.
Yes, thanks, Pam. So I would say as well, it was somewhat easier probably because the program we were putting in place, you know, we have net savings that we could show our finance and our healthcare committee leadership teams, right? And it was a pretty easy argument to make that, you know, we would share that savings with employees, but ultimately the ROI was going to support it.
Great. Well, I hope that you will continue to share the results that you're achieving. You know, I think folks always like to see the long-term changes that are being made, but congratulations to both of you for really implementing some wonderful programs and getting some results. And I really think it's important to hear that all of these came really from your employees and their needs. So thank you for that.
Could I jump in with a question?
Yes, Cheryl, thank you.
So where do each of you see the future of the specific area that the organization, the vendors you're working with, the story that you talked about today, where do you see that heading in the future?
So I can go first. Thanks for the question. I would say that in our area, I mean, many people on this call, I'm sure, are familiar with all of the new healthcare transparency regulations that are coming out, right? So there's a lot more to come around transparency with costs and how we get that information into employees' hands. And we're excited about the opportunity for employees to have more insights and more control over, you know, what procedures they have done where and what that costs them, and just having that true transparency there. So I think with the current administration in place, there's going to be a lot more to come on the issue of transparency, as we all know. And so we are, you know, we're getting ready to obviously support that and bring our organization along, you know, for the ride with that.
That was great. Thank you. Quick question for you. Do you think your employees will use, in fact, one of our next panels is going to be on the hospital, CMS's hospital transparency regs, and those that the carriers are going to have to do in the future. And I guess we're concerned that our members may not be offering that to their employees and family members simply because it was kind of limited in what it offered. And again, we'll hear more shortly, but will you encourage employees to take advantage of those procedures where they're providing pricing, or will you take time to wait and see?
You know, I don't know that we've made a full decision yet. We're certainly weighing out all of the information right now to make that call. It's a complex area, it really is. And obviously we want to send the right message and do it in the right way.
Good answer, Jen. And it is a good answer because that's where my employer members are, and we're waiting for more information. So I didn't mean to put you on the spot, and I appreciate it. It's a very, very good answer. Denise, how about you?
I would echo the same thing. We really don't have a definitive answer at this time. We just need to continue to monitor.
What about the future of the industry that you're talking about, the solution that you talked about today? Where do you see that headed?
Sure. So my hope is that there's more focus on cycles versus dollar limits. I think that where people are receiving the care, oftentimes there's a lot of disparity in the price. So I think that takes, by focusing on cycles, it takes it out of the equation. That's my hope, at least. And, I would also say too, just this focus on how people, build their family. That's another area too, where my hope is that we try to level the playing field, whether it be through adoption, surrogacy, infertility treatment, whatever it may be, that there's more of a push to saying, we're going to try to level the playing field across the board with all of these, whether it be a policy or an actual point solution that we're putting in.
Great. Well, thank you again. This has been a wonderful session. Again, I'm sure that a lot of folks are going to be asking us to help connect you to them so you can continue to share the great results.